national debt?
He had the largest national debt of any president in a 4-year period, number one. Number two, that $2 trillion tax cut benefited the very wealthy. What I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America. Billionaires in America. And what's happening? They're in a situation where they in fact pay 8.2% in taxes. If they just paid 24%, or 25%, either one of those numbers, they'd raise $500 billion, I should say, in a 10-year period. We'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. Excuse me, with dealing with everything we had to do with. Look.
Oh God!
We finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, that he's destroying Medicare because all of these people are coming in. They're putting them on Medicare. They're putting them on Social Security. They're going to destroy Social Security. This man is going to single-handedly destroy Social Security. These millions and millions of people coming in, they're trying to put them on Social Security. He will wipe out Social Security. He will wipe out Medicare. So he was right in the way he finished that sentence. And it's a shame. What's happened to our country in the last 4 years is not to be believed. Foreign countries, I'm friends with a lot of people, they cannot believe what happened to the United States.
He's full of shit.
Of America. We're no longer respected.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
They don't like us. We give them everything they want, and they think we're stupid. They think we're very stupid people.
No, they don't. No, they don't. You're the asshole.
We're doing for other countries, and they do nothing for us. But this man...
Bullshit! Bullshit!
...is absolutely criminal.
Bullshit!
President Trump? Dana?
This is the first presidential election since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. This morning, the court ruled on yet another abortion case, temporarily allowing emergency abortions to continue in Idaho, despite that state's restrictive ban. Former President Trump, you take credit for the decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, which returned the issue of abortion to the states.
Correct.
However, the federal government still plays a role in whether or not women have access to abortion pills. They're used in about 2/3 of all abortions. As president, would you block abortion medication?
First of all,
Of course he would. Of course he would. He's a prick.
well, the Supreme Court just approved the abortion bill, and I agree with their decision to have done that, and I will not block it.
Approve the abortion pill. What are you talking about?
And if you look at this whole question that you're asking, complex, but not really complex. 51 years ago, you had Roe v. Wade, and everybody wanted to get it back to the states.
No, sorry. Nope. You opened a wound. You opened a scab.
Everybody, without exception, Democrats, Republicans,
Nope,
liberals,
that's bullshit. And that's a lie.
everybody wanted it back, religious leaders. And what I did is I put 3 great Supreme Court justices
Yeah, no, and they turned this shit upside down.
Court, and they happened to vote in favor of killing Roe v. Wade and moving it back to the states. This is something that everybody wanted. Now, 10 years ago or so, they started talking
Nope,
about
no it isn't. Bullshit.
how many weeks and how many this, getting into other things. But every legal scholar throughout the world, the most respected, wanted it brought back to
Nope, no they didn't. That's bullshit. That is bullshit.
the states. I did that. Now the states are working it out. If you look at Ohio,
What are you talking about? Bullshit.
decision that was an end result that was a little bit more liberal than you would have thought. Kansas, I would say the same thing. Texas is different. Florida is different. But they're all making their own decisions.
It's all bullshit.
now. And right now, the states control it. That's the vote of the people. Like Ronald
You're an idiot. You're an idiot.
Reagan, I believe in the exceptions. I am a person that believes.
No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. They get their way, they'll end it all.
And frankly, I think it's important to believe in the exceptions. Some people, you have to follow your heart. Some people don't believe in that. But I believe in the exceptions for rape, incest, and the life of the mother. I think it's very important.
Nope. Because if you get there, what's going to happen is you're going to end it all. That's what's going to happen. You prick, you lying sack of shit.
Some people don't follow your heart, but you have to get elected also, and because that has to do with other things. You got to get elected. The problem they have is they're radical because they will
What? What the hell are you talking about? You have to get elected. You have to get elected. What are you talking about?
take the life of a child in the 8th month, the 9th month, and even after birth. If you look at the former governor of Virginia, he was willing to do this.
What are you talking about? What nonsense are you talking about?
We'll put the baby aside and we'll determine what we do with the baby, meaning we'll kill the baby.
Listen to this stupid shit.
What happened is we brought it back to the states.
Bullshit. Bullshit. You blew it. Bullshit. You and your idiots want to ban abortion altogether.
The country is now coming together on this issue. It's been a great thing.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
Thank you. President Biden?
It's been a terrible thing, what you've done. The fact is that the vast majority of constitutional scholars supported Roe when it was decided. Supported Roe. And that's this idea that they're all against it is just ridiculous. And this is the guy who says the state should be able to have it. We're at a state where in 6 weeks, you don't even know whether you're pregnant or not, but you cannot see a doctor, and have him decide on what your circumstances are, whether you need help. The idea that states are able to do this is a little like saying we're going to turn civil rights back to the states, let each state have a different rule. Look, there's so many young women who have been, including a young woman who just was murdered, and he went to the funeral. The idea that she was murdered by an immigrant coming in, they talk about that. But here's the deal: there's a lot of young women who are being raped by their in-laws, by their spouses, brothers and sisters, it's just ridiculous, and they can do nothing about it. And then try to arrest them when they cross state lines.
Thank you.
There have been many young women murdered by the same people he allows to come across our border. We have a border that's the most dangerous place anywhere in the world.
Bullshit. What are you talking about? That's nonsense.
The most dangerous place anywhere in the world.
No, it isn't. Bullshit.
And he opened it up, and these killers
Bullshit.
are coming into our country, and they are raping and killing women. And it's a terrible thing. As far as the abortion is concerned, it is now back with the states. The states are voting.
Bullshit.
In many cases, it's frankly a very liberal decision. In many cases, it's the opposite.
You're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're full of shit.
But they're voting, and it's bringing it back to the vote of the people, which is what everybody wanted, including the founders, if they knew about this issue, which frankly they didn't. But they
What an imbecile. What is he talking about?
would have. Everybody wanted brought back. Ronald Reagan wanted it brought back. He wasn't able to get it. Everybody.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You meandering fool.
It brought back, and many presidents had tried to get it back.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? That's nonsense.
Do it. And again, this gives it the vote of the people, and that's where they wanted it. Every leader
They're gonna vote, all right. They're gonna vote your ass out.
wanted it that way.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
Topic of abortion, President Biden. 7 states, I'll let you do that. This is the same topic. 7 states have no legal restrictions on how far into a pregnancy a woman can obtain an abortion. Do you support any legal limits on how late a woman should be able to terminate a pregnancy?
I support Roe v. Wade, which had 3 trimesters. The first time is between the woman and the doctor. Second time is between the doctor and an extreme situation. The third time is between the doctor, between the woman and the state. The idea that the politicians, that the founders wanted the politicians to be the ones making decisions about women's health is ridiculous. That's
100%.
No politician should be making that decision. A doctor should be making those decisions.
Absolutely. 100%.
That's how it should be run. That's what you're going to do. And if I'm elected, I'm going to restore Roe v. Wade.
Absolutely. 100%.
So that means he can take the life of the baby in the 9th month and even after birth. Because some states, Democrat run, take it after birth. Again, the former
What the hell are you talking about? That's murder, you imbecile.
governor of Virginia. Put the baby down, then we decide what to do with it.
What? Listen to this stupid shit.
So he's willing to, as we say, rip the baby out of the womb in the 9th month.
This guy's looking, what?
The baby. Nobody wants that to happen. Democrat or Republican. Nobody wants it to happen.
That's murder, you imbecile. The kid's already here. Listen to this stupid motherfucker.
That is simply not true.
Yeah, of course. It's a fucking lie. It's a bunch of bullshit.
Circumstance. Only a woman's life is in danger. She's going to die. That's the only circumstance in which that can happen. But we are not for late-term abortion, period. Period, period.
Under Roe v. Wade, you have late-term abortion. You can do whatever you want.
Bullshit. Bullshit. You're full of shit. Yeah, you keep on advocating for that. Yeah. You keep on advocating for that, you piece of shit.
The state, you can do whatever you want. We don't think that's a good thing. We think it's a radical thing.
You're full of shit. What was radical is what you did. You prick.
Democrats are the radicals, not the Republicans.
For 51 years, that was the law. 51 years, constitutional scholarship said it was the right way to go. 51 years, and it was taken away because this guy put very conservative members on the Supreme Court. He takes credit for taking it away. What's he going to do? What's he going to do, in fact, if the MAGA Republicans, he gets elected, and the MAGA Republicans control the Congress?
They're going to take it all away is what they're going to do. This prick.
Pass a universal ban on abortion, period, across the board at 6 weeks or 7 or 8 or 10 weeks, something very, very conservative. Is he going to sign that bill? I'll veto it. He'll sign it.
Thank you.
Let's turn now to the issue of immigration and border security. President Biden, a record number of migrants have illegally crossed the southern border on your watch. Overwhelming border states and overburdening cities such as New York and Chicago, and in some cases causing real safety and security concerns.
What? What are you talking about?
Given that, why should voters trust you to solve this crisis?
Because we worked very hard to get a bipartisan agreement that not only changed all of that, it made sure that we are in a situation where you had no circumstance where they could come across the border with the number of border police there are now. We significantly increased the number of asylum officers. Significantly, by the way, the Border Patrol endorsed my position. In addition to that, we found ourselves in a situation where when he was president, he was separating babies from their mothers, putting them in cages, making sure the families were separated. That's not the right way to go. What I've done since I've changed the law, what's happened? I've changed it in a way that now you're in a situation where there are 40% fewer people coming across the border legally. That's better than when he left office. And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we can do with more border patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of this sentence.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
I think he knows what he said either. Look,
Eat shit, dick.
we had the safest border in the history of our country.
No, you didn't. You had COVID.
The border, all he had to do was leave it. All he had to do was leave it. He just
What do you mean, leave it? What the hell are you talking about?
decided to open up our border, open up our country to people that are from prisons, people that are from mental institutions.
No, that's bullshit. That's a full-on lie right there.
It's insane asylum. Terrorists. We have the largest number of
Insane asylums. What is this idiot talking about?
terrorists coming into our country right now. All terrorists, all over the world, not just in South America, all over the world.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit.
From the Middle East, everywhere, all over the world, they're pouring in. And this
That's bullshit.
guy just left it open, and he didn't need legislation because I didn't have legislation. I said close the border. We had the safest border.
No, we didn't. No, we didn't. We had COVID is what we had, you imbecile.
In that final couple of months of my presidency, we had, according to Border Patrol, who is great, and by the way, who endorsed me for president, but
No, they didn't.
I won't say that. But
No, they didn't.
endorsed me for president.
Nope. No, they didn't.
Then just speak to him. But look, we had the safest border in history. Now we have the worst border in history.
No, we don't. That's bullshit.
Never been anything like it. And people are dying all over the place, including the people that
No, they're not. That's nonsense.
are in
Thank you, President
caravans.
Trump. President Biden?
The only terrorist who's done anything across the border is one who came along and killed three, under his administration, killed an Al-Qaeda person come in his administration, killed three American soldiers. That's the only terrorist that's there. I'm not saying that no terrorist ever got through, but the idea they're emptying their prisons, we're welcoming these people, that's simply not true.
That's nonsense. Tell him that's nonsense. That's a lie.
Support what he said. Once again, he's exaggerating, he's lying.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
President Trump, staying on the topic of immigration, you said that you're going to carry out, quote, the largest domestic deportation operation in American history.
You prick, you son of a bitch.
Does that mean that you will deport every undocumented immigrant in America, including those who have jobs, including those whose spouses are citizens, and including those who have lived here for decades? And if so, how will you do it?
Yeah, he's going to do it.
Just 1 second, he said we killed 3 people. The people we killed are al-Baghdadi and Soleimani.
What is he talking about? What is he talking about?
2 greatest terrorists, biggest terrorists anywhere in the world.
Oh, yeah, no. What about Osama bin Laden? That guy's pretty bad.
Huge impact on everything, not just border, on everything.
Bullshit. What is he talking about?
People with a bad water, including hundreds of thousands of people dying, and also
That's nonsense.
killing our citizens when they come in.
No, that's not true.
We are living right now in a rat's nest.
No, we're not.
Killing our
Bullshit. Bullshit. You want to talk shit about our country? Fuck you. Fuck you.
people in New York, in California, and every state in the union, because we don't have borders anymore. Every state is now a border.
Bullshit. Bullshit. What the fuck are you talking about?
And because of his ridiculous, insane, and very stupid policies, people are coming in and they're killing our
No,
citizens
that's bullshit. That is nonsense.
at a level that we've never seen. We call
No.
it migrant crime. I call it Biden migrant crime.
Everywhere that they ship migrants to, the crime goes down.
They're killing our citizens at a level that we've never seen
That's
before.
bullshit. That's nonsense.
And you're reading it like these 3 incredible young girls over the last few days. One of them, I just spoke to the mother, and they just had the funeral for this girl, 12 years old. This is horrible.
Bullshit. This guy's an idiot.
Taken place. What's taken place in our country, we're literally an uncivilized country now.
No, we're not. Fuck you. Fuck you.
He doesn't want it to be. He just doesn't know. He opened the borders. Nobody's ever seen anything.
Bullshit. What the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about?
And we have to get a lot of these people out, and we have to get them out fast because they're going to destroy our country. Just take a look at where they're living. They're living in luxury hotels in New York City and other places. Our veterans are in the street. They're dying because he doesn't care.
Bullshit. 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 Yeah, right. Right. He has a dead kid from the military, you asshole.
Worse. I had the highest approval rating for
Bullshit.
veterans taking care of the
Bullshit.
He has the worst. He's gotten rid of all the things that I approved.
Bullshit.
That I got through Congress, all of the different things I approved, they abandoned.
That's a fire hose of lies right there.
We had by far the highest, and now it's
Nope, that's nonsense.
less than half because he's done all
That's
these
nonsense.
great things that we did, and I think he did it just because I approved it, which is
What?
crazy. But he has killed so many people at our border by
Bullshit.
allowing all of these people to come in.
President
And it's a
Biden.
very sad day in America.
President Biden, you have the mic.
Every single thing he said is a lie.
Everything. Everything. You tell him. Everything's a lie.
Every single one. For example, veterans are a hell of a lot better off since I passed the PACT Act.
Absolutely. 100%.
A million of them now have insurance, and their families have it. Their families have it because what happened, whether it was Agent Orange or burn pits, they're all being covered now. And his group opposed that. We're also in a situation where we have great respect for veterans. My son spent a year in Iraq, living next to one of those burn pits, came back with stage 4 glioblastoma. I was recently in France for D-Day, and I spoke all about those heroes that died. I went to the World War II cemetery, World War I cemetery he refused to go to. He was standing with his 4-star general, and he told me, he said, I don't want to go in there because they're a bunch of losers and suckers.
That's
I
right.
said,
That's
"I'm
exactly
not
what
a
you said.
sucker.
That's
You're a
exactly.
sucker. You're the loser.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, that's right, son of a bitch. Yeah, you're the sucker. You're the loser, you bitch.
Quote, suckers and losers.
Yeah, that's what you called them, you prick.
Made it up. It was in the third-rate
Nope. Nope.
magazine that's failing, like many of these magazines. He made
Bullshit. Bullshit, you fucking liar.
that up. He put it in commercials. We've notified him.
No, you called them suckers and losers, you prick. Yeah, you did, you son of a bitch.
We had 19 people that said I didn't say it. And think of this.
Bullshit. That is nonsense, you fucking liar.
Who would say I'm at a
You, because you're a prick. Just like what you said about McCain. You bastard.
Because nobody's taking better care. I'm so glad this came up.
Yeah, so am I, you motherfucker.
There's nobody that's taken better care of our soldiers than
That's
I have.
nonsense. That's bullshit.
To think that I would, in front of generals and
Yeah,
others,
you did. Just like you said about that disabled veteran that you didn't want him in front of you because it looked bad, you prick. Yeah, you said that.
say suckers and losers. We have 19 people.
Nope,
that
that's nonsense.
said it was never said by me.
That's nonsense. That's bullshit. That's a fucking lie.
It was made up by him, just like Russia was made
Yeah,
up.
no,
just
bullshit. Bunch of people went to jail because of that, you son of a bitch.
like the 51 intelligence agents are made up. Just like
What's that bullshit?
the new thing with the 16 economists are talking. It's the same thing. 51
What are you talking about? 16, what are you talking about?
intelligence agents said that the laptop was Russia disinformation.
It was, because it was.
wasn't. That came
Yes, it was.
from his son Hunter. It wasn't Russia disinformation.
Yes, it was.
Made up the suckers and losers.
No. You said it, you prick.
He should apologize to me.
No, hell no. Don't apologize to that fucking prick.
Four-star general standing to your side who's on your staff who said you said it.
Yeah.
That's number one. And number two, the idea that I have to apologize to you for anything along the line. We've done more for veterans than any president has in American
Absolutely, 100%. You prick.
American history. And they now are their family. The only sacred obligation we have as a country is to care for our veterans when they come home and their families and equip them when they go to war.
And all this asshole does is denigrate him, you son of a bitch.
That's what we're doing. That's what the VA is doing now. They're doing more for veterans than ever before in our history.
That's true. That's true. That's true, you prick.
All right, thank you so much.
Let's move to the topic of foreign policy. I want to begin with Russia's war against Ukraine, which is now in its third year. Former President Trump, Russian President Vladimir Putin says he'll only end this war if Russia keeps the Ukrainian territory it has already claimed and Ukraine abandons its bid to join NATO.
Yeah, let's see what you say, you prick. Yeah, let's see what you say now, you son of a bitch.
First of all, our veterans and our soldiers.
No. That's
can't stand this.
Nope.
They can't stand him.
Bullshit, you asshole. Bullshit.
Commander-in-chief, if that's what you call him, that we've ever had. They can't stand him. So let's get
Yeah, oh, no. That's bullshit.
straight. And they like me more than just about any of them.
No, they don't. They can't stand you.
And that's based on every single bit of information.
Nah, you're full of shit.
As far as Russia and Ukraine, if we had a real president, a president that knew, that was respected by Putin, he would have never invaded Ukraine.
Yeah, bullshit. You would have let him walk over it, you prick.
A lot of people are dead right now, much more than people know. You know, they talk about numbers. You can double those numbers, maybe.
Yeah, all sent back by Biden to Putin. 600,000 soldiers dead because Putin is a prick, okay? You son of a bitch.
All those numbers. He did nothing to stop it. In fact, I think
Bullshit. Eat shit.
he encouraged Russia from going in.
What? What are you talking about? Fuck you.
Tell you what happened. He was so bad with Afghanistan. It was such a horrible embarrassment.
Bullshit. You shouldn't have turned the Taliban loose, you asshole.
Embarrassing moment in the history of our country. That when Putin watched that and he saw the incompetence.
Nope. He saw that we weren't going to get out of NATO, and there was no choice, you asshole.
That he should have fired those generals like I fired the one that you mentioned.
Bullshit, you prick.
He's got no love lost, but he should have fired those generals. No general got fired for the most embarrassing moment in the history
No, it wasn't. It was not, you prick.
of our country, Afghanistan. When we left billions of dollars of equipment behind, we lost 13 beautiful soldiers and 38.
Bullshit. Left a bunch of equipment behind. That was outdated. And it would have cost us more to bring it back, and we would have lost more soldiers, you prick.
Were obliterated. And by the way, we left people behind too. We left American citizens
The
behind.
people that were that left, stayed behind, wanted to stay there.
When Putin saw that, he said, you know what? I think we're going to go in and maybe take this was his dream. I talked to him about it, his dream. The difference is he never would have invaded.
Bullshit. He would have taken it. He was getting ready. He was getting ready to walk over it because of you.
Ukraine, never. Just like Israel would have never been invaded.
Bullshit.
In a million years by Hamas. You know why? Because Iran was broke.
Bullshit. You signed a waiver enabling them to sell oil, you prick.
Me. I wouldn't let anybody do business with them. They ran out of
Bullshit. You're a goddamn liar.
They were broke. They had no money for
Bullshit. You're a goddamn liar.
Hamas. They had no money for anything.
Bullshit. You're a goddamn liar.
No money for terror. That's why you had no terror at all during my
What are you talking about? Bullshit.
administration. This place, the whole world is blowing up under him.
Bullshit. What are you talking about? You're full of shit.
Never heard so much malarkey in my whole life.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, he's full of shit.
Let's take the last point first. Iran attacked American troops, caused brain damage for a number of these troops, and he did nothing about it. Recently,
Of course he didn't, because he's a prick.
President, they attacked. He said they're just having headaches. That's all it is. He didn't do a thing when the attack took place, number one. Number two, we got over 100,000 Americans and others out of Afghanistan during that airlift. Number three, we found ourselves in a situation where, if you take a look at what Trump did in Ukraine, this guy told Trump, do whatever you want, and do whatever you want. And that's exactly what Trump did to Putin, encourage him, do whatever you want. And he went in. And listen to what he said when he went in. He was going to take Kyiv in 5 days, remember? Because it's part of the old Soviet Union. That's what he wanted to reestablish, Kyiv. And he, in fact, didn't do it at all. He wasn't able to get it done. And they've lost thousands and thousands of troops, 500,000 troops.
President Trump,
I never said that.
Yeah, you did.
I just want to go back to my original question, which is, are Putin's terms acceptable to you?
Yeah, answer the question, you prick.
Territory in Ukraine.
No, they're not acceptable. But look, this is a war that never should have started.
Hey, it started. It's here, you prick. It's done.
In this war, he led everybody along. He's given $200 billion now or more
Bullshit.
to Ukraine. He's given $200 billion. That's a lot of money. I don't think there's ever been anything like it. Every time.
This idiot is such a fucking communist. It ain't funny. God damn.
And that Zelensky comes to this country, he walks away with $60 billion. He's the greatest salesman ever. And I'm not knocking him. I'm not knocking anything. I'm only saying
What you are is a communist prick.
the money that we're spending on this war, and we shouldn't be spending. It should have never happened. I will
Hey, bullshit.
have that war settled between Putin and Zelensky as president-elect before I take office on January 20th.
Bullshit.
I'll have that war settled. People being killed so needlessly, so stupidly, and I will get it settled, and I'll get it settled fast before I take office.
Bullshit.
Mr. Biden, you have a minute.
The fact is that Putin is a war criminal. He's killed thousands and thousands of people. And he has made one thing clear. He wants to reestablish what was part of the Soviet Empire, not just a piece. He wants all of Ukraine. That's what he wants. And then you think he'll stop there? Do you think he'll stop when if he takes Ukraine? What do you think happens to Poland? What do you think of Belarus? What do you think happens to those NATO countries? And so if you want a war, you ought to find out what he's going to do, because if in fact he does what he says and walks away, by the way, all that money we give Ukraine are from weapons we make here in the United States. We give them the weapons, not the money at this point. And our NATO allies have produced as much funding for Ukraine as we have. That's why we're strong.
Thank you. Moving on to the Middle East. In October, Hamas attacked Israel, killing more than 1,000 people and taking hundreds of hostages. Among those held and thought to still be alive are 5 Americans. Israel's response has killed thousands of Palestinians and created a humanitarian crisis in Gaza. President Biden, you've put forward a proposal to resolve this conflict, but so far Hamas has not released the remaining hostages, and Israel is continuing its military offensive in Gaza. So what additional leverage will you use to get Hamas and Israel to end the war? You have 2 minutes.
Number one, everyone from the United Nations Security Council straight through the G7 to the Israelis and Netanyahu himself have endorsed the plan I put forward. Which has 3 stages to it. The first stage is trade the hostages for a ceasefire. Second phase is a ceasefire with additional conditions. The third phase is the end of the war. The only one who wants the war to continue is Hamas. Number one, they're the only ones standing out. We're still pushing hard to get them to accept. In the meantime, what's happened? In Israel, we're finding that the only thing I've denied Israel was 2,000-pound bombs. They don't work very well in populated areas. They kill a lot of innocent people. We're providing Israel with all the weapons they need and when they need them. And by the way, I'm the guy that organized the world against Iran when they had a full-blown intercontinental ballistic missile attack on Israel. No one was hurt. No one Israeli was accidentally killed, and it just stopped. We saved Israel. We are the biggest producer of support for Israel of anyone in the world. And so there are 2 different things. Hamas cannot be allowed to be continued. We continue to send our experts and our intelligence people as to how they can get Hamas like we did bin Laden. You don't have to do it. And by the way, they've been greatly weakened, Hamas. Greatly weakened, and they should be. They should be eliminated. But you've got to be careful for using certain weapons among population centers.
Just going back to Ukraine for 1 second. We have an ocean separating us. The European nations together have spent 100 billion, or maybe more than that, less than us.
Yeah, hey, we have an ocean that's between us, right? Yeah, but they are the front line for us, you asshole. They are the front line.
Why doesn't he call them and say you got to put up your money like I did?
Oh, fuck you. Fuck off, you prick. They are the front line. They're going to send their people after him, you asshole.
Put up hundreds of billions of dollars. The Secretary General of NATO said Trump did the most incredible job I've ever seen.
Bullshit.
They wouldn't have any. They were going out of business. We were spending almost 100% of the money was paid by us. He didn't do that. He's getting all. You got to ask these people to put up the money. We're over $100 billion more spent, and it has a bigger impact.
That's bullshit.
Them, because of location, because we have an ocean in between. You got to ask them. As far as Israel and Hamas, Israel's the one that wants to go. He said the only one who wants to keep going is Hamas. Actually, Israel is the one, and you should let him go.
What? Holy shit.
Let him finish the job.
What do you mean let him finish the job? What do you mean by that? Are you all listening? Are all you pro-Palestine people listening? Finish the job means to nuke the place. Yeah, that's what this asshole's saying.
He's become like a Palestinian, but they don't like him because he's a very bad Palestinian.
Oh my God. Did you hear that stupid shit?
He's a weak one.
President Biden, you have a minute.
I've never heard so much foolishness.
Yeah, absolute foolishness.
Are you going to stay in NATO? Are you going to pull out of NATO? The idea that we have our strength lies in our alliances as well.
Absolutely, 100%.
We're able to avoid a war in Europe, a major war in Europe. What happens if, in fact, you have Putin continue to go into NATO? We have an Article 5 agreement. Attack on one is attack on all.
Yeah.
You want to start the nuclear war he keeps talking about, go ahead. Let Putin go in and control Ukraine and then move on to Poland and other places. See what happens then. He has no idea what the hell he's talking about. And by the way, I got
none whatsoever.
50 other nations around the world to support Ukraine, including Japan and South
Absolutely. Korea. You rallied a coalition. Unlike this prick who wants to hand that place over to Putin. Son of a
Because
bitch.
I understand that this kind of dislocation has a serious threat to the whole world peace.
Absolutely. You fucking prick, you.
No major war in Europe has ever been able to be contained just to Europe.
Absolutely.
President Trump, just to follow up, would you support the creation of an independent Palestinian state in order to achieve peace
Oh,
in the region?
I want to hear this. I want to hear this. No. Answer the question.
See, but before we do that,
No. Don't forget. Hold his feet to the fire. Answer the question.
what we have is that we spend all the money.
Oh, you're full of shit. Enough of the fucking money. They are on the front lines if the shit hits the fan.
So they killed us on trade. I made great trade deals.
Who cares? Who cares? Stop him. Stop him and make him answer the goddamn question.
The European nations. Because if you add them up, they're about the same size economically.
What the hell is this idiot talking about? What is he talking about?
Economy is about the same size as the United States. And they were no cars, they don't want anything that we have. But we're supposed to take their cars, their food,
Hey, he's full of shit. What a goddamn liar.
their everything, their agriculture. I changed that. But the big thing I changed is...
What did you change? You didn't do jack shit. What the hell are you talking about?
That he can play games with NATO is because I got them to put up hundreds of billions
Bullshit. Bullshit.
of dollars. I said, and he's right about this, I said, no, I'm not going to support NATO if you don't pay.
Fuck you. Fuck off, you prick.
They asked me that question, would you guard us against Russia at a very secret meeting of the 28 states?
Let me see
at
what
that
you have to
time,
say.
Nations at that time.
Yeah, let me see
And
what
they
you have to
"No,
say."
If you don't pay, I won't do that. And
What? Oh, you son of a bitch. You son of a bitch Nazi, you.
it happened. Billions and billions of dollars came flowing in the next day and
Bullshit. What the hell is this guy talking about? What a fucking lie, man.
next months. But now we're in the same position. We're paying everybody's
Thank you.
bills.
I want to ask you about January 6, 2021. After you rallied your supporters that day, some of them stormed the Capitol to stop the constitutionally mandated counting of electoral votes.
Yeah,
As president,
you prick.
swore an oath to, quote, preserve, protect, and defend, unquote, the Constitution. What do you say to voters who believe that you violated that oath?
Believe you did. He did. He did. Look at those blue shit rags that those motherfuckers were carrying and they trashed our flag. Fuck you.
For your actions and inaction on January 6th and worry that you'll do it again.
Well, I don't think too many believe that. And let me tell you,
Bullshit, you son of a bitch.
January 6th. On January 6th,
Yeah, you caused the fucking insurrection is what you did.
we had a great border. Nobody
Who gives a shit about your border? Who gives a shit about your border?
through very few. On January 6th, we were energy independent. On
No, we're energy independent right now.
January 6th, we had the lowest taxes ever.
Bullshit.
We had the lowest regulations ever.
Bullshit.
January 6th, we were respected all over the world.
Bullshit. Not after that shit show we weren't. You're full of shit.
All over the world, we were respected.
Bullshit. Bullshit. They were flying balloons of your ass, with a goddamn diaper on it. You pig, you filthy, repugnant pig, you.
Then he comes in, and we're now laughed at. We're like a bunch of stupid people.
No, we're not. No, we're not. Eat shit.
What happened to the United States' reputation under this man's leadership is horrible, including weaponization,
Bullshit.
which I'm sure at some point you'll be talking about, where he goes after his political opponent because he can't beat him fairly.
Bullshit.
Where?
You have 80 seconds left.
Hey, he never answered the question. He never answered the question.
Question was, what do you say to those voters who believe that you violated your constitutional oath through your actions and inaction on January 6, 2021, and worry that you'll do it again?
Well, I didn't say that to anybody. I said peacefully and patriotically. And
Bullshit. Bullshit.
Nancy Pelosi, if you just watched the news from 2 days ago, on tape to her daughter.
That's a lie. That's a lie. You better check him on this.
A documentary filmmaker, what they say,
Filmmaker. Bullshit.
saying, oh no, it's my responsibility. I was responsible
Bullshit. Bullshit. You're a goddamn liar. Somebody call him on his fucking lies.
for this because I offered her 10,000 soldiers.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't, you goddamn liar. You're full of shit, Stinky.
Guard, and she turned them down. And the mayor.
Bullshit. That's nonsense. Don't let him get away with this stupid shit.
In writing, by the way, the mayor.
Nope. Bullshit.
Writing turned it down. The mayor of D.C.
No, he didn't. He did not. That's bullshit. He's fucking lying. Check him on that.
They turned it down. I offered.
No, they didn't. They did not.
Because I could see I had virtually nothing to do. They asked me to go make a.
You had nothing to do. You son of a bitch. You had nothing to do that day while those cops were getting attacked by your mouth-breathing scrubs. You're full of shit, you asshole.
I could see what was happening. Everybody was saying they're going to be there on January 6th. They're going to be there.
What are you talking about? What are you saying? The fuck you saying?
I said, you know what? There's a lot of people coming. You could feel it. You could feel it.
What? What? He's meandering.
Too, and you could feel it. And I said, they ought to have some National Guard or whatever.
Bullshit! Oh, this guy's falling flat on his face.
And I offered it to her, and she now admits that.
Bullshit! That is bullshit. That is a hot lie with maggots on it.
She turned it down.
No, she didn't. That's a lie. That's a lie.
It was the same day she was, I don't know, she can't be very happy with her daughter because it made her into a liar.
Bullshit! What are you talking about? What are you talking about, you goddamn liar?
I take full responsibility for January 6th.
Yeah, right. Okay, yeah, so they were flying flags around that day that said Pelosi on them, right? You son of a bitch, you goddamn traitor.
President Biden?
Look, he encouraged those folks to go up on Capitol Hill, number one. I sat in the dining room off the Oval Office. He sat there for 3 hours watching, begging, being begged by his vice president and a number of his colleagues on the Republican side as well to do something, to call for a stop, to end it. Instead, they've talked about these people being patriots and great patrons of America. In fact, he says he'll now forgive them for what they've done. They've been convicted. He says he wants to commute their sentences and say that no. He went to every single court in the nation. I don't know how many cases, scores of cases, including the Supreme Court, and they said no, this guy is responsible for doing what was done. He did do.
He owns it. He doesn't own. Yeah, no. All this motherfucker does is lie and eat shit.
A damn thing, and these people should be in jail, and they should be the ones who are being held accountable. And he wants to let them all out, and now he says if he loses again, such a whiner that he is, that it could be a bloodbath.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
What they've done to some people that are so innocent, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
No, you ought to be ashamed of yourself, you son of a bitch.
You have done how you've destroyed the lives of so many people.
Bullshit. Well, they shouldn't have. They fucked around and they found out, okay?
When they ripped down Portland, when they ripped down many other cities.
No, they didn't.
You go to Minnesota,
No, they didn't.
Minneapolis.
No, they
If
didn't.
went there with the fires all over the city. If I didn't bring in the National Guard, that city would have been destroyed. When you look at all of they took over big chunks.
No, we're talking about January the 6th here.
Seattle. I was all set to bring in the National Guard. They heard that. They saw them coming and they left.
Bullshit. You're a goddamn liar.
Immediately. What he said about this whole subject is so off.
Nope.
Peacefully patriotic.
Nope. Bullshit. Bullshit, you son of a bitch.
The Unselect Committee, which is
You're full of shit.
basically two horrible Republicans that are all gone now, out of office, and Democrats, all Democrats, they destroyed and deleted all of the information they found.
What are you talking about? That's bullshit. All you got to do is go online and you find all the evidence.
Because they found out we were right.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You son of a bitch.
We were right. And they deleted and destroyed all of the information. They should go to jail for that.
Bullshit. Bullshit. Fuck you.
If a Republican did that, they'd go to jail.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden, I want to give you a minute.
The only person on this stage is a convicted felon, this man I'm looking at right now. And the fact of the matter is, what he's telling you is simply not true. The fact is that there was no effort on his part to stop what was going on up in Capitol Hill. And all those people, every one of those who were convicted, deserves to be convicted. The idea that they didn't kill somebody, just went in and broke down doors, broke the windows, occupied offices, turned over desks, turn them over statues. The idea that those people are patriots, come on. When I asked him the two debates we had, first time around, I said, will you denounce the Proud Boy? He said, no, I'll tell them to stand by. The idea he's refusing to, will you denounce these guys? Will you denounce the people we're talking about now? Will you denounce the people who attacked that Capitol? What are you going to do?
I'm going to give you a minute, President Trump, for a follow-up question I have. After a jury convicted you of 34 felonies last month, you said if reelected, you would, quote, have every right to go after, unquote, your political opponents. You just talked about members of the
You disgusting prick, you.
Select Committee on January 6th going to jail. Your main political opponent is standing on stage with you tonight. Can you clarify exactly what it means about you feeling you have every right to go after your political opponents?
Well, I said my retribution is going to be success. We're going to make
Oh, you're full of shit.
this country successful again, because right now it's a failing nation.
No, it's not.
My
No,
retribution's gonna be
we are
success.
not failing. You're full of shit. Fuck you.
But when he talks about a convicted felon, his son is a convicted felon at a very high level.
Hey, his son ain't running for office, okay? All right? You, yeah,
Level. His son is convicted, going to be convicted probably numerous other times. Should have been convicted before, but his Justice Department let the statute of limitations
Bullshit, you goddamn criminal.
lapse on the most important things. But he could be a convicted felon as soon as he gets out of office. Joe could be a convicted
Nope, for what?
felon with all of the things that he's done. He's done horrible things.
What has
All
he
of the
done?
death
He hasn't
penalty
done
at
anything horrible, you prick.
the border, telling the Ukrainian people that we're going to want $1 billion or you change the prosecutor. Otherwise,
What are
you're
you
not getting $1 billion. If I understood that,
what are you talking about?
that's quid pro quo. We're not going to do anything. We're not going to give you $1 billion unless you change your prosecutor having to do with the son.
Bullshit.
Is a criminal. This man, you're lucky. You're lucky. I did nothing wrong.
Oh,
We have
yeah,
a system that
right, yeah,
was rigged and disgusting. I did
Bullshit.
nothing wrong.
Yeah, you did. 34 felonies, you prick.
President Trump, President Biden, you have said, I'm coming right to you, sir. You want to respond? Go ahead. I'll give you a minute to respond.
The idea that I did anything wrong relative to what you're talking about is outrageous. It's simply a lie, number one.
It's bullshit.
The idea that you have a right to seek retribution against any American just because you're president is wrong. It's simply wrong. No president's ever spoken like that before. No president in our
You
history
fucking prick. You tell him.
spoken like that before. Number three, the crimes that you are still charged with, and think of all the civil penalties you have. How many billions of dollars do you owe in civil penalties for molesting a woman in public, for doing a whole range of things, of having sex with a porn star on the night while your wife was pregnant? I mean, what are you talking about?
Yeah. You fucking
I
shithead.
didn't have sex with a porn star.
Yes, you did.
Number one.
Yes, you
Number
did.
two, that was a case that was started and moved. They moved a high-ranking official, a DOJ, into
You're full of shit. Yeah, they still found you guilty 34 times, you prick.
the Manhattan DA's office to start that case. That case is going to be appealed and won.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
We had a very terrible judge, a horrible judge, Democrat.
Nope. There he goes trashing the system again. That pile of shit.
The prosecutor were all high-ranking Democrats, appointed people.
Bullshit.
Both the
Bullshit.
civil
Yeah.
and the
Bullshit.
criminal.
Bullshit. You lost every charge, you prick.
He basically went after his political opponent.
No, he didn't do anything.
Because he thought it was going to damage me. But when the public found out about these cases, because they understand it better than he does, he has no idea what these cases are. But when they found out about these cases, you know what they did? My poll numbers went up.
No, they didn't. They did not. That's bullshit. Another lie.
Way up. You know that because you're reporting it. And we took
That's bullshit.
more money in the last 2 weeks than we've ever taken
That's bullshit.
in the history of
That's bullshit.
any campaign. I don't think any campaign has ever taken hundreds of millions
Bullshit.
of dollars came pouring in because
Bullshit.
the public knows
You got $100 million from one donor. One donor.
a scam, and it's a guy that's after his political opponent because he can't win fair and square.
Bullshit.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden, you have said, quote, Donald Trump and his MAGA Republicans are determined to destroy American democracy. Do you believe that the tens of millions of Americans who are likely to vote for President Trump will be voting against American democracy?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
The more they know about what he's done, yes, the more they know about what he's done. And there's a lot more coming. He's got a lot of cases down the road coming around. He's got a whole range of issues he has to face. I don't know what the juries will do, but I do know he has a real problem. And so the fact that, could you ever think you hear any president say that I'm going to seek retribution? Do you ever hear any president say that I thought Hitler had some good ideas? What got me involved to run in the first place after my son had died, I decided in Iraq, because of Iraq, I said I wasn't going to run again. Until I saw what happened in Charlottesville, Virginia. People coming out of the woods carrying swastikas on torches, and singing the same anti-Semitic bile they sang when back in Germany. And the young woman got killed. I spoke to the mother, and they asked him. They said, "What do you think of those people? The people the ones who got killed, the one who tried to stop it, and the ones," he said, "I think they're fine people on both sides." What American president would ever say? Nazis coming out of fields, carrying torches, singing the same anti-Semitic bile, carrying swastikas, were fine people. And this is a guy who says Hitler's done some good things. I'd like to know what they are. The good things Hitler's done, that's what he said. This guy has no sense of American democracy.
President Trump.
Jake, both of you know that story has been totally wiped out, because when you see the sentence, it said 100% exoneration on that. So he just keeps it going. He says he ran because of Charlottesville. He didn't run because of Charlottesville. He ran because it was his last chance. He's not equipped to be president. You know it, and I know it. It's ridiculous. We have a debate. We're trying to justify his presidency. His presidency is, without question, the worst president, the worst.
No, it's not. No, it's not. You're full of shit. It is not the worst presidency. Are you kidding me? With all the stuff he has passed? Are you kidding me?
Presidency in the history of our country. We shouldn't be having a debate about it. There's nothing to debate. He made up the Charlottesville story.
No, he didn't. What do you mean he made up the Charlottesville story? You said it in front of the cameras, you prick.
And you'll see it's debunked all over the place.
No, it's not. No, it's not. This guy's a liar, and you're not calling him on him.
Every reasonable actor has debunked it.
Nope. No, they haven't.
Just the other day it came out where it was fully debunked.
Nope. No, it wasn't.
It's a nonsense story. He knows that. And he didn't run because of Charlottesville. He used that as an excuse.
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did.
President Biden.
And debunk. It happened. All you have to do is listen to what was said at the time. And the idea that somehow that's the only reason I ran because I was worried a guy like this guy could get elected. If he thought they were good people coming out of that forest, carrying those woods, carrying those torches, then he didn't deserve to be president. Didn't deserve to be president at all. And the idea that he's talking about all this being fabricated, we saw with our own eyes. We saw it happen on January 6th.
Exactly.
We saw the people breaking through the windows. We saw people occupying his own vice president. Look, there's a reason why 40 of his 44 top cabinet officers refused to endorse him this time. His vice president hasn't endorsed him this time. So why? Why? They know him well. They serve with him.
Yeah, because he's an incompetent, repugnant slob. That's why.
They're not endorsing him.
Thank you, President Biden. We're going to be right back with more from the CNN presidential debate.
Yeah. Let me see if I can go forward here.
Make sure we provide for child care costs.
You haven't made more progress.
They acknowledge they made a lot of progress, number one. The fact of the matter is there are more small black businesses that have been started than any time in history. Number two, the wages of black unemployment is the lowest level it's been in a long, long time. Number three, we're trying to provide housing for black Americans and dealing with the segregation that exists among these corporate corporations that collude to keep people out of their houses. And in addition to that, we find that the impact on the choice that black families have to make relative to child care is incredibly difficult. When we did the first major piece of legislation in the past, I was able to reduce black child care costs. I cut them in half. We got to make sure we provide for child care costs. We got to make sure, because when you provide those child care protections, you increase economic growth because more people can be in the job market. So there's more to be done, considerably more to be done. But we've done a great deal so far, and I'm not letting up, and they know it.
You have 49 seconds left. What do you say to black voters who are disappointed with the progress so far?
I say I don't blame them for being disappointed. Inflation is still hurting them badly. For example, I provided for the idea that any black family, first-time home buyer, should get a $10,000 tax credit to be able to buy their first home so they can get started. I made sure that we're in a situation where all those black families and those black individuals who provided had to take out student loans that were ballooning, that if they were engaged in nursing, doctor, and anything having to do with volunteerism, if they paid their bills for 10 years on their student debt, all the rest is forgiven after 10 years. Millions have benefited from that. And we're going to do a whole lot more for black families.
Thank you, President Trump.
And he caused the inflation.
No, he didn't.
Inflation.
No, he didn't. You did. You caused it. You caused it the way you botched COVID.
And he's right, it's been very bad. He caused the inflation.
No, he didn't. You did.
He's killing black families and Hispanic
No, it's bullshit.
families and just about everybody. It's killing people. They can't buy groceries anymore. They can't. You look
Bullshit.
at the cost of food where it's doubled. And
No, it hasn't. Bullshit.
tripled and quadrupled.
What is he talking about? Food doubled and tripled and quadrupled. What the hell are you talking about?
They can't live. They're not living anymore.
They can't live. They're not living anymore.
Caused this inflation. I gave him a country with essentially no inflation.
Bullshit. Bullshit. When everybody started going out, price gouging happened because of the way you botched COVID.
And it was perfect. It was so good. All he had
Oh
to do was
yeah,
leave it
right,
alone.
right.
He
You left this place smoldering and infected, you prick.
it with his Green New scam and all of the other
Bullshit.
all this money that's being thrown out the window. He caused inflation. As sure as you're sitting there, the fact
Bullshit.
is that
Bullshit.
his big kill on the black people is the millions of people that he's allowed to come in through the border. They're taking
Bullshit.
black jobs now, and it could be
They're taking black jobs, huh? So you're saying that black people can only do the jobs that people that don't speak English? Are you kidding me?
18, it could be 19 and even 20 million.
No, that's nonsense.
people. They're taking black jobs and they're taking Hispanic jobs.
That's
and you haven't seen
bullshit.
it yet.
That's bullshit.
But you're going to see something that's going to be the worst in our history.
Thank you.
Bullshit.
President Biden.
There was no inflation when I became president. You know why? The economy was flat on its back. 50% unemployment. He decimated the economy, absolutely decimated the economy. That's why there was no inflation at the time. There were no jobs. We provided thousands of millions of jobs for individuals who are in all communities, including minority communities. We made sure that they have health insurance. We have covered, the ACA has increased. I made sure that they're $8,000 per person in a family to get written off for the health care. But this guy wants to eliminate that. They tried 50 times. He wants to get rid of the ACA again. And they're going to try again if they win. We find ourselves in a position where the idea that we're not doing any, we put more police on the street than any administration has. He wants to cut the cops. We're providing for equity and making sure people have a shot to make it. There's a lot going on, but in inflation, he caused it by his tremendous malfeasance in the way he handled the pandemic.
Thank you. Another persistent challenge is the climate crisis. 2023 was the hottest year in recorded history, and communities across the country are confronting the devastating effects of extreme heat, intensifying wildfires, stronger hurricanes, and
This is a joke. They're letting that guy spout his fucking lies unchecked. That's terrible.
rising sea levels. Former President Trump, you've vowed to end your opponent's climate initiatives, but will you take any action as president to slow the climate crisis?
He just told you he's going to deregulate everything. Ridiculous. He took us out of the Paris Accord. Come on.
Well, let me just go back to what he said.
No, don't let him go back. Don't let this prick go back.
The police, how close the police are to him. Almost every police group in the nation from every state is supporting
Bullshit.
Donald J. Trump.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
Almost every police group.
Bullshit.
And what he's done to the black population is horrible, including the fact that for 10 years he called them super predators. We can't, in the
Hey, bullshit.
1990s, we can't forget that. Super predators was his name, and he called it to them for 10, and they've taken great offense at it, and now they see it happening. But when they see what I did for criminal justice reform...
What did you do? What you did? You didn't do jack shit. You didn't do jack shit.
Colleges and universities,
Nope.
where I
Nope.
funded them and got them all
Bullshit. Bullshit. Bullshit.
funded. And the opportunity zones with Tim, as you know, Tim
Those are a scam.
Scott was incredible. He did a great job. Great senator from South Carolina. He came to me with the idea, and it was a great idea. It's one of the
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? That's bullshit.
most successful economic development acts ever in the country. Opportunity
Bullshit.
zones.
Bullshit. Bullshit. That's just a tax haven for the rich people. That's all that shit is.
And the biggest beneficiary are blacks. And that's
Bullshit. That is nonsense. That is a lie. You're going to let him sit here and spew all his lies? What are you going to do?
why we have the best numbers with them in maybe ever. They're saying ever. I read this morning where ever. The best numbers. He's lost much of the black population.
Bullshit. That's bullshit nonsense.
Because he's done a horrible job for black people. He's also
Bullshit. Bullshit. You did absolutely nothing for him. Absolutely nothing. Biden has put 59 judges on the bench that are black. You put 0.
done a horrible job for Hispanics. But when do you see these millions of people pouring into our country
Bullshit.
and they're going to take the jobs? And
Bullshit.
it's already started, and you haven't seen anything yet. It's
Bullshit. As far as the black people are concerned, again, Biden put 59 black judges on the bench. You put 0. You put 0. It starts right there.
a disaster.
You've 38 seconds left. President Trump, will you take any action as president to slow the climate crisis?
So I want absolutely immaculate clean water, and I want absolutely clean air, and we had it. We had H2O. We had the best numbers
I want absolutely clean air, and we had it. H2O.
ever. And we were using all forms of energy, all forms, everything. And yet,
What is this guy talking about with the little fucking fingers? Is that the size of your dick? What are you talking about? Make him answer the question.
during my 4 years, I had the best environmental numbers ever. Environmental people gave me that statistic just before I walked on the stage.
Bullshit. God damn. God damn. You guys are letting them tell these lies unchecked.
Actually,
I don't know where the hell he's been.
Sleepy Joe with a right hook.
The idea that anything he said is true. Passed the most extensive climate change legislation in history. In history, we find ourselves.
He still hasn't answered that question, by the way, Dana Bash.
By the way, black colleges. I came up with $50 billion for HBCUs, historic black universities and colleges, because they don't have the kind of contributors that they have to build these laboratories and the like. Any black student is capable in college of doing any white student can do. They just don't have the money, but now they'll be able to get those jobs in high tech. We're in a situation where the idea that he is claiming to have done something that had the cleanest water,
He never answered the question. CNN, you're letting him off the hook. He never answered the question.
He pulled out of the Paris Peace Accord, Climate Accord. I immediately joined it because if we reach 1.5 degrees Celsius at any one point, there's no way back. The only existential threat to humanity is climate change, and he didn't do a damn thing about it.
Absolutely. You tell him, Joe.
I'll undo all that I've done.
The Paris Accord was going to cost us $1 trillion, and China nothing, and Russia nothing, and India nothing.
Hey, you're an idiot. You're an idiot, okay? All right, what's it gonna cost us when when everything floods and all these hurricanes happen, you imbecile?
It was a ripoff of the United States.
No, it wasn't. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's an investment.
And I ended it because I didn't want to waste that money. Because
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, we're spending way more trying to clean up these disasters.
treat us horribly. We were the only ones. It was costing us money. Nobody else was paying into it, and it was a disaster.
That's not true. That's not true, man. Man, it is not a debate, right? When you let one side just spew lie after lie after lie and go unchecked. Come on, man.
Everything that he said just now. I'll give you an example. I heard him say before insulin. I'm the one that got the insulin down.
What?
For seniors.
What? Now this guy's gonna go in full lie mode now. Are you kidding me?
Care of the seniors. What he's doing is destroying all of our medical programs.
Bullshit! That is a lie. You didn't do a goddamn thing in 4 years, and he was the one that lowered the insulin.
Because the migrants coming in, they want everybody. And look, I have the biggest heart on the stage. I guarantee you that. And I want to take care of people. But
Bullshit! You didn't do a goddamn thing when you were in office.
Destroying our country. They're taking over our schools, our hospitals, and they're going to be taking over Social Security. He is destroying Social Security.
Bullshit! Every budget proposal when you were in office slash Social Security. He's protecting it, okay? You dumb son of a bitch.
Medicare and
Well,
Medicaid.
man, is anybody gonna fact check this asshole? Shame on them.
The idea is that we, in fact, we were the only ones of consequence who are not members of the Paris Accord. How can we do anything? We're not able. The United States can't get its pollution under control. One of the largest polluters in the world. Number one, we're making significant progress. By 2035, we will have cut pollution in half. We've made significant progress, and we're continuing to make progress. We set up a climate corps for thousands of young people who learn how to deal with climate.
That idiot still hasn't answered the question about the climate change. Good God, you let him off the hook.
Like the Peace Corps, and we're moving in directions that are going to significantly change the elements of cause of pollution. But the idea that he claims that he has the biggest heart up here and he's really concerned about pollution and about climate, I've not seen any indication of that.
Nothing.
By the way,
Not a
if you're
damn
going to
thing.
Prescription drugs, one company agreed that they would reduce the price to $35, which I was calling for, one, voluntarily. I made sure every company in the world...
That's right. That's right. That's right. Call this asshole on his lies.
Pharmaceutical company cannot have to pay.
Thank you.
And by the way...
So every day, millions of Americans struggle just to make ends meet. For many older Americans, Social Security provides a critical lifeline. President Biden, if nothing is done to Social Security, seniors will see their benefits cut in just over 10 years. Will you name tonight one specific step that you're willing to take to keep Social Security solvent?
Yes, make the very wealthy begin to pay their fair share.
Bingo. Bingo. Right there. Right there. Make them pay.
Right now, everybody making under $170,000 pays 6% of their income, of their paycheck, every single time they get a paycheck from the time the first one they get when they're 18 years old. The idea that they're gonna, I'm proposing that everybody, the millionaires pay 1%. 1%. So no one I would not raise the cost of Social Security for anybody under $400,000. After that, I began to make the wealthy begin to pay their fair
Exactly. Exactly. Which should be what it should be.
share by increasing from 1% beyond to be able to guarantee the program for life.
Absolutely. Well said.
You still have 82 seconds left. Are there any other measures that you think that would be able to help keep Social Security solvent, or is that one enough?
Well, no, that one enough will keep it solvent, but the biggest thing I'll do if we defeat this man, because he wants to get rid of Social Security. He thinks there's plenty to cut in Social Security.
Yep, absolutely. Every budget proposal he presented had a slash in Social Security.
Cut Social Security and Medicare.
Yep, 100%.
And that's what, and if you look at the program put forward by the House Republican caucus that he, I believe, supports, is in fact want to cut it as well. The idea that we don't need to protect our seniors is ridiculous. And by the way, American public has greater health care coverage today than ever before. And on the ACA, as I said, you're in a circumstance where 400,000 people, 40 million people would not have insurance because they have a pre-existing condition. Only thing that allows them to have that insurance is the fact that they, in fact, are part of the ACA. And by the way, the other thing is, we're in a situation where I talk about education for Black communities. I've raised the amount of money for Pell Grants another $8,000. So anybody making under $70,000 a year is going to be able to get $15,000 toward the tuition. He just doesn't know what he's talking about.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump.
So I've dealt with politicians all my life. I've been on this side of the equation for the last 8 years. I've never seen anybody lie like this guy.
Bullshit! What are you talking about? What are you talking about? That's bullshit.
He lies. I've never seen it. He can look you in the face. About so many other things too. And we mentioned the laptop. We mentioned Russia.
Oh, here we go again. Are you going to let him get away with this? Are you?
Russia, Ukraine. And everything he does is a lie. It's misinformation and disinformation. The losers and suckers story that he made up is a total
here you go again. You going to let him talk like that?
lie on the military. It's a disgrace. But Social Security, he's destroying it.
Nope, that's you.
Because millions of people are pouring into it.
Bullshit, that's nonsense.
And they're putting them onto Social Security. They're putting them
Bullshit.
to Medicare, Medicaid. They're putting them in our hospitals. They're taking the place of our citizens there.
Bullshit.
What they're doing to the VA, to our veterans, is unbelievable. Our veterans are living in the street. And these
Bullshit.
people are living in luxury.
Immigrants are living in luxury hotels.
hotels. He doesn't know what he's doing. And it's really coming back.
That was just a fire hose of lies. That was a complete fire hose of lies. And CNN is permitting it. Terrible.
I've never seen such anger in our country before.
Bullshit.
President Biden.
The idea that veterans are not being taken care of, I told you before. And by the way, when I said suckers and losers, he acknowledged after that he fired that general. That general got fired because he's the one that acknowledged that that's what he said. He was the one standing with Trump when he said it, number one. Number two, the idea that we're going to be in a situation where all these millions and millions, the way he talks about it, illegal aliens are coming into the country and taking away our jobs. There's a reason why we have the fastest growing economy in the world. The reason why we have the most successful economy in the world. We're doing better than any other nation in the world. And by the way, those 15 Nobel laureates he talked about being phony, those 15 Nobel laureates, economists, they all said that if Trump is reelected, we're likely to have a recession and inflation is going to increasingly go up. And by the way, worst president in history, 159 presidential scholars voted him the worst president in the history of the United States of America.
Oh, snap!
Thank you so much. Let's turn to the cost of child care, which many American families struggle to afford. President Trump, both you and President...
Okay, watch. He's going to ask this question, right? And then this guy is going to go back to the last thing. Watch.
Biden have tried to address this issue, but the average cost of child care in this country has risen to more than $11,000 a year per child. For many families, the cost of child care for 2 children is more than their rent. In your second term, what would you do to make child care more affordable?
And just to go back, the general got fired because...
I told you. What did I say? What did I just say? What did I just say, guys? What did I just say? Didn't I say that he was going to go back to what he just said? Yeah,
no good. And if he said that he doesn't fire people. He never fired people. I've never seen him fire anybody. I did fire a lot. I fired Comey because he was no good. I fired a lot of the top people at the FBI, drained the swamp. They were no good.
You didn't. Bullshit. You fired your own people.
But they were no good. I inherited these people. I didn't put them there. I didn't put Comey there. He was no good.
Yeah, look, okay. Has he talked about child care? You're letting him off the hook. Has he talked about child care? No.
I fired him. This guy hasn't fired anybody.
Because he doesn't have to, because they're good at what they do. They're not pricks. They're not useless pricks. And you fire somebody and you put somebody worse.
First, he should have fired every military man that was involved with that Afghan.
Bullshit.
The Afghanistan horror show.
Bullshit.
Bullshit.
Bullshit. You had 4 years to get him out. You didn't do jack shit except cut loose a bunch of Taliban, and we got bombed on the way out, you son of a bitch.
History of our country. He didn't fire. Did you fire anybody? Did you fire anybody that's on the border that's allowed us to have the worst border in the history of the world? Did anybody get fired for allowing 15
What are you talking about? That's bullshit.
million people?
Bullshit. This is all bullshit. It's nonsense. It's a lie. Check him on it.
Prisons, many from mental institutions.
Bullshit. That's nonsense. That's a lie.
Did you fire anybody that allowed our country to be destroyed?
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? It's nonsense. It's all nonsense.
Our country is being destroyed.
No, it's not. No, it's not. We're doing just fine.
You and I sit up here and waste a lot of time on this debate. This shouldn't be a debate. He's the worst president.
Bullshit. That's you.
He just said about me because I said it.
Because it's true. Because it's true, you prick.
But look, he's the worst president in the history of our country.
This dude's pathetic.
Destroyed our country. Now all of a sudden he's trying to get a little tough on the border. He came out with a
Bullshit. They put together a plan and you told your coffee boy to reject it, okay?
a nothing deal. And
What are you talking about, a nothing deal? You're full of shit.
a little bit, like this much. It's
A little bit like this. This dude's pathetic. I mean pathetic.
insignificant. He wants open borders. He wants our country
Bullshit.
to either be destroyed or he wants to pick up those people as voters. And
What is this nonsense?
I don't think we just can't let it happen. If he wins this election, our country doesn't have a chance.
Why? We're doing just fine.
Not even a chance of coming out of this rut.
What rut?
Republican
What rut? What rut are you talking about, you prick? What rut? Eat shit.
country left anymore. That's how bad it is. He is the worst in history by far.
Bullshit. That's you.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden?
We're the most admired country in the world.
You're damn
We're the
right.
United
You're
States
damn
of
right. That's right, bitch.
Nothing beyond our capacity.
That's
We're the
right.
finest military
That's right, you prick.
in the history of the world.
That's right, you prick.
Finest in the history of the world.
That's right, you prick.
No one thinks we're weak. No one wants to screw around with us. Nobody.
That's right. You're goddamn right.
Number one. Number two, the idea that we're talking about worst presidents. I wasn't joking. Look it up or go online. 159 or 58, don't know the exact number, presidential historians, they had meetings and they voted who was the worst president in American history, one through best to worst. They said he was the worst in all of American history. That's a fact. That's not conjecture. He can argue they're wrong, but that's what they voted. The idea that he is doing anything to deal with child care, he did virtually nothing to child care. We should significantly increase the child care tax credit. We should significantly increase the availability of women and men or single parents to be able to go back to work. And we should encourage businesses to have
Thank you, President
childcare
Biden.
facilities.
President Trump, the question was about what would you do to make child care more affordable, if you want to take your minute.
Just so you understand, we have polling, we have other things.
Okay, all right. He's not going to answer that question. Are you going to make him or not?
They rate him the worst because what he's doing.
That got in his head. No, nonsense. You're the worst.
is so bad. And they rate me, I'll show you, I will show you. And
Yeah.
they rate me one of the best.
No.
Okay?
Sleepy Joe. You're the worst.
If I'm given another 4 years,
No thanks. We don't want the worst president again.
I'll be the best. I think I'll be the best. Nobody's ever created an economy like us. Nobody
Bullshit.
ever cut taxes like us.
Bullshit. All you did was cut for the 1%. All he wants to do is make the rich pay their fair share. You idiot.
He's the only one I know. He wants to raise your taxes by 4 times. He wants to raise everybody's taxes by 4 times. He
Nope,
wants the Trump
that
tax
is
cuts to
nonsense.
expire.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So they can pay their fair share. That's right.
Everybody, including the two of you, are going to pay 4 to 5 times. Nobody ever heard of this.
Because it's not true. Because it's bullshit. It's a lie.
I grow up and I see politicians talking about cutting taxes. When we cut taxes, as I said, we did more.
You did not cut taxes for anybody but the richest motherfuckers on this planet.
And all these companies, they were bringing money back into our country.
What are you talking about? This is nonsense.
Worst president in history by far.
Nope. That got in your head, didn't it? Because you're the worst.
And everybody knows it.
Nope. And he never answered the question. Good Lord.
Look, fact of the matter is that he's dead wrong about, he's increased the tariff, he will increase the taxes on middle-class people. I said I never raised a tax on anybody making less than $400,000. I didn't. But his tariff is 10% tariffs. Everything coming into the country, you know what the economists say? That's going to cost the average American $2,500.
Yeah, not only that. We had the largest trade deficit ever with China under that prick, okay?
Or more, because they're going to have to pay the difference in food and all the things that are very important. Number two, he's in a situation where he talks about how he has not raised, he's somehow helped the middle class. Middle class has been devastated by you. Now you want a new tax cut of $5 trillion over the next 10 years, which is going to fundamentally bankrupt the country. You have the largest deficit of any president in American history, number one. Number two, you have not, in fact, made any contact, any progress with China. We are the lowest trade deficit with China since 2010.
Thank you, President Biden.
You lost
Thank you, President Biden. Let's discuss an epidemic impacting millions of Americans that both of you have made a top priority in your first term, the opioid crisis. And for both of you, the number of overdose deaths in this country has gone up. Under your term, it went up. Under your term, it has gone up. Former President Trump, despite the efforts that both of you have made, more than 100,000 Americans are dying from overdoses every year, primarily from fentanyl and other opioids. What will you do to help Americans right now in the throes of addiction who are struggling to get the treatment they need?
Nothing. You know what he's going to say? He's going to say that the flow of drugs over the border, but they're coming at legal ports of entry, not on the backs of these people coming over here.
To finish up, we now have the largest deficit in the history of our country.
Yeah, and you added 9 trillion to it in 4 years.
Okay, we have the largest deficit with China.
No, we don't. No, we do not. We do not. It was with you.
By China, he's a Manchurian candidate. He gets money from China.
Nope, you do.
So I think he's afraid to deal with them or something. But
what are you talking about? The nonsense.
Notice he never took out my tariffs because we bring in so much money with the tariffs that I impose on China.
That's not true.
He never took them away. He can't because it's too much money. It's tremendous. And we saved our steel industries. And
bullshit.
There was more to come, but he hasn't done that. But he hasn't cut the tariffs because he can't, because it's too much money.
Bullshit.
But he's got the largest deficit in the history of our country.
Nope, that was you. You added 9 trillion to the deficit in 4 years.
And he's got the worst situation with China. China's going to own.
What are you talking about?
If you keep
Nope. We had a larger trade deficit under you than him.
Them to do what they're doing to us as a country. They are killing us as a country, Joe.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
You're destroying our country.
So, President Trump, you have 67 seconds left. The question was, what are you going to do to help Americans in the throes of addiction right now who are struggling to get the treatment they need?
Jake, we were doing very well at addiction until the COVID came along.
No, you weren't. Bullshit.
We had the 2.5, almost 3 years of like nobody's ever had before, any country, in every way. And then
Okay. He just said absolutely nothing.
we had to get tough, and it was the drugs pouring across the border it started to increase. We got great equipment.
What is this guy talking about? This is a bunch of nonsense.
We bought a certain dog that's the most incredible thing that you've ever seen, the way they can spot it. We did a lot, and we were getting very low numbers, very, very low numbers. Then he came along. The numbers, have you seen the numbers now? It's not only the 18 million people that I believe.
Nope, there's not 18 million people coming. Nope.
Is even low because the gotaways, they don't even talk about.
Nope, that's nonsense.
Gotaways. But the numbers of the amount of drugs and human trafficking in women coming.
Human trafficking in women.
Across our border. The worst thing I've ever seen. At numbers that nobody's ever seen under him because the border's so bad. But the number of drugs coming across our border now is the largest we've ever had.
That's nonsense. That's nonsense.
By far.
President Trump, thank you. President Biden?
Fentanyl and the byproducts of fentanyl went down for a while.
Yes, absolutely.
Wanted to make sure we use the machinery that can detect fentanyl. These big machines that roll over everything that comes across the border. And it costs a lot of money. That was part of this deal we put together, this bipartisan deal. More fentanyl machines, more be able to detect drugs, more numbers of agents, more numbers of all people at the border. And when we had that deal done, he called his Republican colleagues, said, "Don't do it. It's going to hurt me politically." No, he never argued it's not a good bill.
That's exactly what he did.
Really good bill. We need those machines. We need those machines. And we're coming down very hard in every country in Asia in terms of precursors for fentanyl. And Mexico is working with us to make sure they don't have the technology to be able to put it together. That's what we have to do. We need those machines.
Thank you.
Very, very well said.
President Biden, President Trump, and again, the question is about Americans in the throes of addiction right now struggling to get the treatment they need.
Well, this does pertain to it.
Okay, there you go. There you go. He's not going to, he hasn't answered one question yet.
Did remain in Mexico. He ended catch and release.
What is
catch and release.
Again, people in the throes of addiction. Bro, this is a disaster. I mean, he hasn't answered any of the questions.
In Mexico, not catch and release here. We had so many things that we had done, hard negotiations with
What are you talking about? What did you do? What did you do?
And I got it all for nothing. It's just like
Bullshit. What about the wall you said you were going to build in Mexico was going to pay for it? You're full of shit.
when you have a hostage, we always pay $6 billion.
Nope, never did.
Every time there's a hostage. Now we have a hostage, a Wall Street Journal reporter. I think a good guy. And he's over there because Putin is laughing at this guy, probably asking
Bullshit.
for billions of dollars for the reporter. I will have him out very quickly as soon as I take office. Before I take office, I said by.
Why don't you do it now? Why don't you do it now? Why do you do it now? Huh? Why don't you do it now, you prick?
Literally, as soon as I win the election, I will have that reporter out.
Hey, why can't you do it now? Why can't you do it now? Huh? You gonna let that guy suffer some more?
I had him out a long time ago, but Putin's probably asking for billions and billions of dollars because this guy pays it every time.
Bullshit. Bullshit. You idiot. You let Otto Warmberger just die.
We had 2 cases where we paid $6 billion for 5 people.
Nope, that's not true.
I got 58 people out, and I paid essentially nothing.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
Let's turn to concerns
Okay.
that voters have about
He never answered the question about people in the throes of addiction. Okay? These people are terrible. These people are terrible. He hasn't answered any of your questions.
President Biden, you would be 86 at the end of your
Who gives a shit?
second term. How do you address concerns about your capability to handle the toughest job in the world?
Yes. Hey, tell him, look at my record.
your 80s?
Well, first of all, I spent half my career being criticized being the youngest person in politics. I was the second youngest person ever elected to the United States Senate, and now I'm the oldest. This guy's 3 years younger and a lot less competent. I think that just look at the record. Look at what I've done. Look
Absolutely. Look at the record. Yeah.
the horrible situation he left me. As I said, 15 million new jobs, 800,000 manufacturing jobs, more investment in America, over billions of dollars in private investment.
Yes.
In
Yeah.
enterprises.
Don't shake.
We are growing.
Don't shake your head, you prick. That's true.
Right. By the way, we brought off a lot of people. Well, the whole idea of computer chips. We used to have 40% of the market. We invented those chips, and we lost it because he was sending people to find the cheapest jobs overseas and then bring home a product. So
Absolutely. 100%.
I went to South Korea. I convinced Samsung to invest billions of dollars here in the United States.
Absolutely. Yeah. That guy knows how to do a deal. This guy's a prick.
And guess what? Those fabs, they call them, to build these chips, those fabs pay over $100,000. You don't need a college degree for them. And there's billions, about $40 billion already being invested and being built right now in the United States, creating
Absolutely. 100%.
significant jobs for Americans from all over the world.
Absolutely.
President Biden, you have 40 seconds left. Would you like to add anything?
Yeah, I would. The idea that somehow we are this failing country. I never heard a president talk like this before. We're the envy of the world. Name me a single major country president who wouldn't trade places with the United States.
Absolutely. 100%. All this guy does is bang on America. Eat shit, you idiot.
America, for all our problems and all our opportunities. We're the most progressive country in the world in getting things done. We're the strongest country in the world. We're a country in the world who keeps our word, and everybody trusts us. All of our
Absolutely.
allies and those who he calls up to, from Kim Jong-un, we sent love letters to, and Putin, etc. They don't want to screw around with us.
Yeah, you're damn right.
Former President Trump,
You're damn
to follow
right.
up, you would be 82 at the end of your second term. What do you say to voters who have concerns about your capabilities to serve?
Well, I took 2 tests, cognitive tests. Both of them, as you know, we made it public. He took one, I took one, just one. A really easy one. Like go through the first 5 questions, you couldn't do it. But I took 2 cognitive tests. I took physical exams every year. And you know, we knock on wood wherever we may have wood.
Donnie Coggs.
Very good health. I just won 2 club championships.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You're a terrible golfer. Let me tell you a story. One of my buddies was his caddy. This guy cheats like a dog. He's never won anything. He's a cheater.
And senior, 2 regular club championships.
Nope. That's a lie. That is a bold-faced lie.
To do that,
Not to mention, who gives a shit about your golf game?
to be quite smart, and you have to be able to hit the ball a long way. I do it. He doesn't do it. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. He challenged me to a golf match. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. I think I'm in very good shape. I feel that I'm as in good a shape as I was 25, 30 years ago.
You're a disgusting, repugnant slob is what you are.
Actually, I'm probably a little bit lighter, but I'm in as good a shape as I was years ago. I feel very good. I feel the same.
What, are you down a cup size with your titties?
But I was willing to take a cognitive test. And you know what? If I didn't do well, I aced them. Ronnie Jackson, who's a great guy when he was White House doctor. And then I took another one, a similar one. And one of them said they've never seen anybody ace him.
Yeah. President Biden?
You can see he is 6'5" and only 223 pounds. Well, you said 6'4", 200. Well, anyway, that's it. Anyway, just take a look at what he says he is, and take a look at what he is. Look, I'd be happy to have a driving contest with him. I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6. But by the way, I told you before, I'm happy to play golf if you carry your own bag. Think you can do it?
That's the biggest lie. He's a 6 handicap of all.
I was at 8 handicap.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's enough.
But I have, you know how many.
I've seen you swing. I know you swing.
And let's
you
let's
know,
not act like children.
President Trump, we're going to
21
turn
Let's not act like children.
You
to
are
a
a child.
specific concern that voters have about you. Will you pledge tonight that once all legal challenges have been exhausted, that you will accept the results of this election, regardless of who wins, and you will say right now that political violence in any form is unacceptable?
Well, I shouldn't have to say that, but of course I believe that. It's totally unacceptable. And if you would see my statements that I made on Twitter at the time, and also
You're full of shit.
my statement that I made in the Rose Garden, you would say it's one of the strongest statements you've ever seen. In addition to the speech I made in front of, I believe, the
This
largest crowd
parasite,
I've ever spoken
this
to, and I will
parasite
tell
is pathetic. This parasite is pathetic. He's got to go.
you, nobody ever talks about that. They talk about a relatively small number of people that went to the Capitol, and in many cases were ushered in by the police. And
What? Oh my God, he's trashing the police, man.
Nancy Pelosi said it was her responsibility.
Nope, that's not true.
Not mine. She said that loud and clear. But the answer is, if the election is fair, free, and I want that more than anybody. And I'll tell you something. I wish he was a great president because I wouldn't be here right now. I'd
He is. What are you talking about?
be at one of my many places enjoying myself.
Yeah, right. Your ass would be in prison right now.
I wouldn't be under indictment because I
Yeah,
wouldn't
yes you would. Yes you would, you son of a bitch.
have been his political opponent because he indicted me because I was his
He didn't indict you.
opponent. I wish he was a great president.
He is a great president, you prick. You're the worst one in history.
I'd rather have that. I wouldn't be here. I don't mind being here. But the only reason I'm here is he's so bad as a president.
Nope. The only reason that you're there, is because your ass is going to go to prison for what you did, you traitor.
That I'm going to make America great again.
Nope, you're full of shit.
We're going to make America great again.
How, you prick?
We're a failing nation.
No, we're not. We are not a failing nation. Fuck you.
And we're a seriously
He's sitting here shitting on us. Fuck you.
failing nation. And we're a failing
We're not a failing nation. Fuck you.
nation because of him.
Nope.
His policies are so bad.
Nope. Have you seen all the economic indicators? Huh? We are the envy of the world, you prick. Shut the fuck up with that nonsense.
His military policies are insane.
No, they're not. No, they're not. He got us out of Afghanistan, you prick. And because of you, you got us soldiers killed, you prick.
They're insane. These are wars that will never end with him. He will drive us into World War III. And we're
No, he won't. Fuck you.
closer to World War III than anybody can imagine.
Nope. No, we're not.
We are very, very close to World War III.
No, we're not.
And he's driving us there.
No, we're not.
Kim Jong-un and President Xi of China.
Look at the despots that he name drops, because he can't. There isn't a decent leader in this world that will talk with this bitch. They're all despots that want to get over on him.
Of North Korea, all of these, Putin, they don't respect him.
Yes, they do. Ask Putin if he respects him or not. After he sent him back 600,000 dead soldiers, you prick.
Don't fear him.
Oh, yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. We're in year 3 of that war, and Putin still hasn't walked over Ukraine, you bastard. You communist traitor prick.
Have nothing going with this gentleman, and he's going to drive us into World War
No, he's not. No, he's not.
III.
You want a World War III, let him follow and win, and let Putin say, do what you want, and there you go. Just do what you want.
Yeah. That exactly right. Exactly right. Because we got to go get that son of a bitch if this guy gets in office. We got to go there and take care of Putin ourselves.
There's a thing called Article 5. An attack on one is attack on all.
That's right. You're goddamn right, you prick. Yeah, Look at this motherfucker's face. Fuck you.
Required response. The idea the idea. I can't think of a single major leader in the world who wouldn't trade places with the job I've done and what they've done. Because we are a powerful nation. We have wonderful peace because of the people, not me. It's because of the American people. They're capable of anything, and they step up when they're needed. And right now, we're needed. We're needed to protect the world because of our own safety as a state. And again, you want to have a war, just let Putin go ahead and take Kyiv, make sure they move on, see what happens in Poland, Hungary, and other places along that border. Then you have a war.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
President Trump, as I come back to you for a follow-up, the question was, will you accept
You're weak. You're weak. He's not going to answer the question again. You know that, right?
the results of this election, regardless of who wins?
Just to finish what he said.
There you go. There you go. There you go. He's not going to answer the question again.
Russia, they took a lot of land from Bush. They took
What?
a lot
What is he talking about? What is he talking about? Make him answer the question.
of land from Obama and Biden. They took no land, nothing from Trump, nothing. He knew that.
Yeah, bullshit. Bullshit. They built up in Donbass and went in after they saw that we were not going to back out of NATO. You son of a bitch, you communist traitor prick, you.
Not to do it. He's not going to play games with me. He knew that. I got along with him very well, but he knew not
Yeah,
to play
right. I remember the stinky in Helsinki where he made you be his bitch. Okay? He made you be his bitch.
games. He took nothing from me. But now he's going to take the whole thing from.
What the hell are you talking about? What are you talking about? He's taking nothing from anybody here. Yeah. Biden from a half a world away has sent him 600,000 dead soldiers, okay? Yeah. He respects Biden. He doesn't respect you.
This man right here. That's a war that should have never started. It would have never started ever with me.
Yeah, bullshit. You would have let him walk over Ukraine. You would have let him flat out walk over Ukraine, you prick.
And he's going to take Ukraine. And, U.S.
No, he's not. Not if we can help it. Nope, he is not. He is not. He's 3 years into this, and he's running out of people.
Question before, would you do this? He's got us in such a bad position.
Nope, we're doing fine.
Now with Ukraine and Russia. Because Ukraine's not winning that war. He said, I will never settle until such time. They're running out of people. They're running out of soldiers.
No. Russia is running out of people. Ha, yeah, that's right. And we got the big guns coming too, brother. Yeah, that's right, son of a bitch.
They've lost so many people. It's so sad. They've lost so many people. And
Because of you. You let them build up on Donbass, okay? And when they were going to walk over them and kill everybody, you son of a bitch. You're in that 5'0" baby killing thug.
Those gorgeous cities with the golden domes that are 1,000 years old.
Okay, remember the question? Remember the question was, are you going to accept the result of the election? You're just letting them walk all over you.
All because of him and stupid decisions.
Bullshit. Okay? Bullshit.
Russia would have never attacked.
Bullshit.
If I were
President Trump,
president.
the question was, will you accept the results of the election?
He's not gonna answer the question.
Yes or no, please.
If it's a fair and legal and good election, absolutely.
That's what you said last time. You prick. You're setting it up for all you're gonna do is say that it wasn't. You ain't in a win-win deal here. You're full of shit.
I would have much rather accepted these, but the fraud and everything else.
What fraud?
Was ridiculous.
No, it wasn't. Bullshit. You better call him on this.
We'll have a news conference on it in a week. We'll have another one of these in a week. But I will absolutely, there's nothing I'd rather do. It would be much easier for me to do that.
What fraud? Ask him, call him on that.
Then I'm running again. I wasn't really going to run.
Bullshit. And when you found out that they were going to indict you because you wouldn't give us back our secrets, you traitor, that's when you kicked it into high gear and said you were going to run. You started running earlier than anybody else, you prick.
I saw the horrible job he did.
What horrible job? What are you talking about?
He's destroying our country.
No, he's not. No, he's not. You're full of shit.
I would be very happy to be someplace else. In
Yeah, right. Prison is the only other place you're gonna be, you son of a bitch.
location someplace.
Yeah, Leavenworth. Leavenworth, you son of a bitch.
And no indictments, no political opponent
Bullshit.
stuff, because it's the only way he thinks he can win. But unfortunately, it's driven up my numbers and
No, it hasn't. It has not. Bullshit. You're a felon. You're a repugnant slob.
up to a very high level because the people understand it.
No, you're full of shit. And he never answered the question, by the way. Yeah.
Let's see what your numbers are when this election is over. Let's see.
Yeah.
You're a whiner. When you lost the first time, you continued, you appealed and appealed to courts all across the country. Not one single court in America said any of your claims had any merit, state or local, none. But you continue to provoke this lie about somehow there's all this misrepresentation, all this stealing. There is no evidence of that at all.
None whatsoever. None whatsoever, you prick, you goddamn liar.
And I tell you what, I doubt whether you'll accept it because you're such a whiner.
And a bitch.
The idea if you lose again, you accepted anything, you can't stand the loss. Something snapped in you when you lost the last time.
Yeah.
We'll be right back with more from the CNN presidential debate, live from
CNN is weak as hell. Weak as hell. He didn't answer one of their questions. He didn't answer. He went on a tangent and never answered one of the questions. Yeah. Let's see what else he got here.
Two minutes.
We've made significant progress from the debacle that was left by President Trump in his last term. We find ourselves in a situation where, number one, we have to make sure that we have a fair tax system. I ask anyone out there in the audience, or anyone out watching this debate, do you think the tax system is fair? The fact is that I said, nobody even making under $400,000 had a single penny increase in their taxes, and will not. And if I'm reelected, that'll be the case again. But this guy has increased your taxes because of the deficit. Number one, he's increased inflation because of the debacle he left after the way he handled the pandemic. And he finds himself in a position where he now wants to tax you more by putting a 10% tariff on everything that comes into the United States of America. What I did, when, for example, he wants to get rid of the ability of Medicare for us to be able to negotiate drug prices with the big pharma companies. Well, guess what? We got it down to $35 for insulin instead of $400. No more than $2,000 for every senior, no matter how much prescription they need. You know what that did? That reduced the federal debt by $160 billion over 10 years because the government doesn't have to pay the exorbitant prices. I'm going to make that available to every senior all along, where it's happening now, and everybody in America. He wants to get rid of that. I'm going to make sure that we have child care. We're going to significantly increase the credits that people have for child care. I'm going to make sure we do something about what we're doing on lead pipes and all the things that are causing health problems for people across the country. We're going to continue to fight to bring down inflation and give people a break.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump, you now have 2 minutes for your closing statement.
Like so many politicians, this man is just a complainer.
No, yeah, right. Well, yeah, listen to the complainer in chief.
And we want to do this, we want to do that, we want to get rid of this tax, that tax.
When people are talking, he goes, when people are actually, when the adults are talking, that's how he hears it. That's how he hears it because he's a functionally illiterate imbecile.
But he doesn't do anything.
Bullshit. You did absolutely nothing.
And all he does is make our country unsafe by allowing
What?
millions and millions of people
That's nonsense. That is nonsense.
to pour in. Our military doesn't respect him. We look
Yeah,
like
they do. Yeah, we do. Yep, we sure do.
fools in Afghanistan.
Nope. No, we didn't.
We didn't stop Israel. It was such a horrible thing that would have never happened. It should have never happened. Iran was
Bullshit.
brutal.
Bullshit. No, they weren't. No, they weren't. You signed a waiver and allowed them to sell oil. You prick.
Anybody that did business with Iran, including China, they couldn't do business with the United States. They all passed. Iran
That's bullshit.
was broke.
Nope,
and
that's bullshit. That's a lie. You signed a waiver allowing Iran to sell oil.
no money for Hamas or Hezbollah, for terror, no money whatsoever. Again, Ukraine should have never happened.
Bullshit.
He talks about all this stuff, but he didn't do it for 3.5 years.
Oh, yes, he did. Yeah, he sure did.
Living in hell.
Bullshit. Eat shit living in hell. The fuck is wrong with you?
We have the Palestinians and we have everybody else rioting all over the place. You talk about Charlottesville.
Bullshit.
This is 100 times Charlottesville, 1,000
Bullshit. Bullshit, you prick.
times. The whole country is exploding because
That's
of you.
nonsense. That's nonsense.
Because they don't respect you.
Oh,
And
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, they do.
They have to respect their president, and they don't respect you throughout the world.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
What we did was incredible. We
You didn't do anything.
rebuilt the military. We got the
No, you didn't.
largest tax cut in history, the
That was for the richest 1%.
largest regulation cut in history.
That's, yeah, right. And what did that do?
The reason he's got jobs is because I cut the regulations that gave jobs. He's putting a lot of those regulations back on. All of the things that we've done, nobody's ever
Bullshit. You were a disaster.
never seen anything like. Even from a medical standpoint, right to try, where we can try
Right
space
to
age
try.
materials instead of going to Asia or going to Europe.
What are you talking about?
And trying to get when you're terminally ill. Now you can go and you can get something. You sign a document. They've been trying to get it for 42 years. But you know what we did for the military was incredible. Choice for our soldiers. Where our soldiers,
What the hell is this guy talking about?
instead of waiting for 3 months to see a doctor, can go out and get themselves fixed up and readied up and take care of themselves. And they're living, and that's why I had the highest approval rating in the
Nope, that's not true.
history of the VA.
Nope, that's not true.
So all of these things, we're in a failing nation.
Nope,
but it's not
we
gonna
are
be
not.
failing
We are not failing. Fuck you.
anymore. We're going to make it great again.
Thank you, former President Trump, President Biden. Stay with us because we have full analysis of this debate. Anderson Cooper and Aaron Burnett starts now.
That was
on CNN.
embarrassing. That was embarrassing. Y'all were terrible. Terrible.